Hello there, all you wonderful, beautiful ladies and gentlemen out there. It is I, your boy Hazuki Warrior 921 here, bringing you another one of these videos of my Where to Start series, episode 3, coming out like after a whole year later, pretty much. Which I meant to make more of these. I'm gonna make an episode about Yakuza, Mother, and Earthbound, and Sonic, and Dragon Ball, and other franchises soon. But right now, we're looking at a big one from Nintendo, the one and only, The Legend of Zelda. I want to talk about The Legend of Zelda today for episode 3. I've been debating which series I should do. I was going to do Mother originally, but I think I'll save that one for a little bit later, or Earthbound. But today, we're going to do Zelda. I love Zelda. I love the Zelda series. I think this is a great series to talk about because there's so much to discuss, so much to get into, and no, your eyes not deceiving you about the background. We got new couches recently. Same house, same location, but new couches, so yay for that. A little bit off topic. Moving on. Okay, so The Legend of Zelda. I have here a lot of The Legend of Zelda games in my possession. I mean, I have a freaking lot of them right here, okay? Some of these are like the same games, some of them are not, which we'll get into it later, don't worry. But, I want to start off this video by just kind of saying something sort of obvious for The Legend of Zelda, especially if you're a die-hard Zelda fan. I don't care what, like, I personally don't really care which Zelda game is your favorite in this kind of like point of view. Whatever Zelda game is your favorite, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. They teach their own. I have nothing against like what your favorite Zelda game is. Okay, great, and that's fine. That's totally fine. You post comments, go on about it. Okay, and I probably will read it and heart react to it. Whatever. Zelda's fine. Okay, Zelda's fantastic. The Legend of Zelda is a great series with Link, Ganon, Zelda, and all these other great characters. With different generations of Link, different generations of Zelda and Ganondorf, or Ganon. It's fine. I love Zelda. But, no matter which Zelda game you start with first, it doesn't matter, because it's a great starting point for any game. There you go, folks. That's my whole video. Catch you later next time. No, I'm kidding. But, like, I'm serious. Like, if you start with, like, Majora's Mask, Minish Cap, like, Four Swords Adventure, it doesn't matter. Like, Triforce Heroes, which is not an example, Spirit Tracks, Skyward Sword, Wind Waker, Ocarina Time. Any Zelda game that you start with first, it's gonna be fine. Twilight Princess, fine. A Link to the Past, you know, Link's Awakening. You'll have a blast. Like, honestly, you will. You will. I just have here a lot of them. I don't have all of them though. I didn't grab Breath of the Wild. Hold on one second. Ugh. Okay, I'm back. All right, so I grabbed 2 more games right here for the Switch. We'll get into what those are later. I forgot all about those games. But yeah, it doesn't matter what your first Zelda game is, you'll have a blast with it. As long as you're enjoying it, you'll be fine. Like with Nintendo recently announcing the Skyward Sword HD re-release coming out, which honestly, it's a little disappointing that they're not adding anything new to the game itself. Very disappointed about that. I am. At the moment. Wait, I think it is getting amiibo support, so that is pretty cool. But that is the very beginning of the Legend of Zelda timeline. So right off the bat, I think that game is a great starting point for The Legend of Zelda. This is a great starting point if you can get behind the motion controls. I personally really love this game, but it's not my first Zelda game. This is actually my second Legend of Zelda game, and my first one being The Wind Waker. I grew up with this game. These are my first 2 Zelda games, and I have a third one. I have a trilogy of Zelda games that I started off with. Yes, these are the first 3 Zelda games I ever played through and got to the end of in order, and these are the only 3 ever beaten. I'm not even kidding. So, if you really want to be like, I want to play these games in time of order, Daniel, what should I do? Kind of like Metal Gear Solid and Halo. I say you should first play The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, and then after you beat it, you should play The Legend of Zelda Minish Cap, and then you should play Four Swords. Four Swords, the Game Boy Advance one. I think it's just called Four Swords, or it might be called Four Swords Adventure, but that's the GameCube one. Then you should play Ocarina Time. I don't have Four Swords physically, so deal with what you got. And then after Ocarina Time, you can go any direction you want to, depending on what kind of ending you get in the game. Granted, I technically got the only ending it really has when you beat Ganondorf. I didn't die, so it was like, okay, so I guess you should just put Majora's Mask next. It splits into 3 different timelines after Ocarina of Time. But there are mostly 3 Zelda games I want to focus on today that I think you should start with. Kind of like what I did with Halo and Metal Gear Solid. I focus on 3 games. Same thing with Zelda here. That's a big reason why I want to make a video about it. But just so you know, you don't have to watch this whole video. But if you watch the whole thing, I really appreciate it. Thank you. That means a lot to me. That means you find my video very like informative and entertaining. All the great stuff. Great, fantastic. Mwah. You deserve a kiss for that. Thank you or something. Thank you for watching my whole video. But if you don't, I understand. Because like I said, if you're just a complete newbie to like Nintendo and to Zelda, all that stuff, I'm hoping you're not a child. But if you might be, which is okay. I hope I'm not. If I cursing. Don't want to do that. But I will say this though, if you're newbie to Zelda, it's okay it's okay with whatever Zelda game that you begin with. It's okay, and whatever one that. But I can almost guarantee you that that Zelda game that you start with will become your favorite. It'll become your personal favorite one. It's just a blessing and a curse as a Legend of Zelda fan that your first Zelda game will probably be your favorite one. 90% of the time, that usually seems to be the case. Because remember, this is my favorite Zelda game. It is. I have a strong attachment to this game. And I love it more, than the remake. I do. Which I know seems silly. Like, why would you not love the remake more? I think the original just has a bit more charm to it. The remake definitely has a poop load of charm, okay? A crap ton of charm. It does. A buttload of charm. It does. But, to me, you just cannot top the OG. It's my personal favorite. So, but I love Ocarina of Time and Skyward Sword as well. Now, one Zelda game I want to talk about that might be considered a quote-unquote horrible start, but not really. It's not really. I wouldn't really call it a horrible start. It just is a quotation marks horrible start, because it's not really like a game focused on being your first Zelda game. It's a game focused on being a game designed for fans of the Legend of Zelda. It's a love letter for the Legend of Zelda fans. That would be Hyrule Warriors. I have the original, don't have the Wii U version or the 3DS version, but this is a great game, and it could be your first. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not a bad first Zelda game. It's just kind of a silly starting point. You can get for 3DS and Switch also. You don't have to bust out a Wii U or buy a Wii U and play this. It's just that there's so much like Legend of Zelda history and content and lore of like characters and like winks and nudges and like little like things they put in this game that like has to do with stuff that only fans might understand, that for like a newcomer maybe kind of like, that's cool that that's there, but I don't fully understand that, but it's cool that's there. So it's like I would not start with Hyrule Warriors. I'd only play this if you have at least played Ocarina of Time through first, then maybe play this one next. But at least Ocarina of Time, because at least it has a lot of love for that game as well. A lot of Zelda games, a lot of 3D Zelda games were built off the foundation of Ocarina of Time. Like the way that game is like just designed and structured with its characters and story and lore and stuff. Each 3 Zelda game up to Skyward Sword was kind of like the same idea. All different points in time, yes, but we look different characters, different stories, but they all feel very similar still, which is not a bad thing, no, especially Twilight Princess, Again, that's not a bad thing. I like those games. I like Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Twilight, Wind Waker, Skyward Sword. They're great games. They are. They're just, the only one that's like bigly different, that's like massively different, is probably Majora's Mask, from like those 5 games. But they all have like a very Ocarina of Time feel to them. Like it's just this from again, with the exception of Majora's Mask, which does a lot of things differently, which is really unique. Which is why it's not a bad idea if you start with that game, but maybe you should play Ocarina of Time first, considering that it takes place before Majora's Mask. It depends on you though, obviously, right? So, what 3 games do I want to focus on today that you should start with? These ones right here. The original NES title, Ocarina of Time. The 3DS version is fine too, which I prefer that one. Or Skyward Sword. These 3 Zelda games would be a great starting point for no matter who you are. In my opinion, I do think so. This game, however, it's frustrating. It will really kick your butt. The original Legend of Zelda is a fantastic game. It really is. It really is a fantastic game and everything. It's just, it's archaic. It's old. It's a guide game for sure. Like I have like a little map right here in the manual for sure to help me out. But you gotta use the internet for sure to help you out in this game. It's like Metal Gear 1, like the original Metal Gear game. They're both great games, and they're both the beginning of like their franchises. Metal Gear 1 and this. It's just that they're not like the beginning of their own, franchises timelines. They're not the beginning of the timeline, and the gameplay is just kind of like, man, like I want to play this game. For me, I feel like I want to play this in Metal Gear 1. It's just I need a guide to get through it. And I'm waiting for me personally. Right now I'm playing through the MGS games, Metal Gear Solid games, the 3D ones, 1 through 5. And for Zelda, you can do the same thing, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, you know, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword. That would be totally fine. That would be totally fine if you did that. But, moving on to this masterpiece of a game. Ocarina of Time is a really good starting point. It really, really is. Either version, which I recommend picking up this one if you have a 3DS. I really hope Nintendo re-releases this on the Switch and Majora's Mask and Wind Waker. I'm thinking Nintendo might put almost every Zelda game on the Switch that they did for Mario. But this whole limited time release thing is just unfair and not okay. I think they really need to, like, they can't do that, but they're doing it, and they can and they are doing it. There's no law against it or anything. But I just wish that Nintendo didn't do that, because I have a feeling the same thing might happen with Zelda. Like, it's gonna be a limited time release. So get it while you can. Don't miss out. Pick up a Switch and buy these, because it will probably get re-released. And I'm hoping it's this version and hold on 1 minute. Okay, sorry. These two games right here are probably gonna get re-released for the Switch. They might, but they might not. I don't know yet. It'll probably be these versions. Now, there's another Zelda game I completely forgot about. And I feel like a butthole for doing this, because there's probably mad fans out there for this game. They're like, how could you not include this Zelda game as one of your bigger, like, you know, ways to start? Because I included, you know, my big three here are Zelda 1, Skyward Sword, and Ocarina of Time. Now, I want to say some things about Skyward Sword, some good things. This game probably has the best Zelda story. That's something that a lot of fans might not know. People who have played this game and just don't like its gameplay probably don't know how good story is. It's a great, well-written, emotional story. I love this game. I do. And the gameplay is not that bad. It really is once you get behind it. And I love that it's getting re-released for the Switch. I mean, the people who really don't like the Wii or Wii motion controls, which to me is kind of a crappy reason to not like a game, just get behind it. It's not going to kill you, like Jesus Christ. But, sorry. But, if you really don't like motion controls, there's an option for everyone this time around. You're gonna get it with control. So please pick up Skyward Sword when it gets re-released. You won't be disappointed. You won't. It's a great game. This game right here is a huge deal to a lot of the Zelda fans from the 90s, specifically the Super Nintendo era. And you probably already know what the game this is. I'm so sorry for not including it. And that game is The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. This game is a really, really, really good starting point for Zelda. It is. It's got Link, Zelda, well, Ganon. It's got like an open world like style to it. Yeah, it's 16-bit with that. It has that 16-bit charm to it. I barely played it. Now, it's nothing against the game. It's nothing against the game. It's just I'm trying to play these games in time and order, which is why I haven't really touched a lot of them yet. I've only played Skyward Sword and Ocarina of Time and Wind Waker to the end, to the final boss. That's it. I've played this game. I've played Majora's Mask. I've even played A Link Between Worlds here. You know, this is a great game too. I just play like their very beginnings because I don't want to beat them yet. It's something against the game. It's just something I'm taking my time with. That's it. Like, it's something personal. But I still really admire this game, and I really, really want to play more of it when I get around to it. I think it's a great game. I say this is a great starting point too. I really do. And another game that I actually am going to play and mess around with because it doesn't really connect to the timeline. This is a great first Zelda game because it has a little bit of everything in one. Kind of like Hyrule Warriors, but it also has a very like beginner like motif to it. Like if you never played Zelda before, this is a perfectly fine first game. That's right, folks. The Legend of Zelda: The Breath of the Wild. This game is very polarizing when it comes to people's opinions, just like Ocarina of Time. It's like back and forth. Either people love this game or they hate this game. There's like nobody out there that's in the middle with this game. I do really love this game, but there are things about it that I can understand are flawed, frustrating, and whatnot. But I love the like open world survival, like you versus nature and you with nature motif it has. Like you have to be with nature, one with nature, and sometimes you have to fight against nature or work with nature. Like that's what this game is, and it's beautiful. It's like a freaking Studio Ghibli game, or it's like a Studio Ghibli movie in a game. Like that's how this game feels, and I cannot get enough of it. It's beautiful, it's artistic, it's fresh. I love this game. I do. I really, really do. I think it's a great Zelda game. Not my favorite, no. I will always go to Wind Waker. But this might be a close second. I don't know. This might be my other favorite Zelda game. I don't know. I'm still very new to the series. I'm still very inexperienced with Zelda. I love Ocarina of Time. I cannot get enough Ocarina of Time. Trust me, I'm replaying the 3DS game. I love that game. I do. It's just, man. Like, this game does so much right, and I love it. I really love this game. I really do. So, anyways, folks, that's almost everything that I have to say about Zelda. There's other versions of Ocarina of Time that I own here, and Twilight Princess and whatnot. Like, here's Ocarina of Time again, for the GameCube if you want. I just want to show off this cool little box that I have, why the heck not. It really just looks like this on the inside. But this is a decent version of the game. It's just those save times are very slow, so I wouldn't recommend this one, but it is nice if you want to play it. But it's the same thing as Ocarina of Time. Now, there's something funny, actually, about the N64 of Ocarina of Time. There's 3 different releases of this game. 3. And I might have the first one. I either have the first release or the second release of the game, but I cannot tell. This is the cartridge that I own. So if anyone out there knows in the comments below, that'd be great if you can tell. I don't know if you can. But the third release was the gold cart version for sure. I remember this old friend of mine told me about this. A long time ago he did. He told me that Ocarina of Time version, and I know this because of, like, you know, there's been like videos about it all over the internet about like the music in the Fire Temple and Ganondorf's blood have been switched in other versions of this game. So that's how I know. I'm hoping this is the version 1, but I won't know until I get to the freaking Fire Temple, will I? Unless there's a way just to tell just by looking at it. It doesn't tell you on the cart. It doesn't tell you. I don't know. It doesn't say V 2.0 anywhere that I can see. So I don't know. Again, if anyone out there knows in the comments which version this is, you know, that'd be great. Maybe I can just look it up on Google Images sometime and just compare pictures. If there's someone out there that has a legitimate way of knowing. But I also have, for me personally, I have this map for Ocarina of Time, and okay, I know I shouldn't be showing this off, but I mean, this is like kind of like what the game's about a little bit. This image is like a big impactful moment to the game, so I decided to use this picture for it. There's like, you know, there's like that picture of Link versus Ganondorf when he's like when Ganondorf on the horse, or like them fighting in the final boss, which are great as well. But really, it's about Link growing up. So I thought this was like a perfect representation of like what the game's about. So I decided to use this image instead. So I am a big fan of Ocarina of Time. I know, but I'm nothing against the other Zelda games also. And then I have this little song sheet for the songs you play in the game, and then my Hyrule Atlas map, which I know I'm just being a bit of a dork here. I know this stuff is not that important, honestly. I know there's gonna be people out there who are like, why are you doing this? This is just filler in the video. I know, but I don't care that much. So there's my Atlas map. So, you know, I don't know, just wanted to show you guys that. So, because why not? It is kind of cool. But moving on from that, I want to show you not just that, what I have for A Link to the Past here. This is a big important deal to A Link to the Past. I completely forgot this picture was in my cart. That's right, the Master Sword. It's like, why is that important for newcomers? Remember, like, why is the Master Sword important? I thought it was like in every Zelda game. You're wrong-go there. This was the second or third. I think this is the third Zelda game that was made. And this is the first time the Master Sword has ever been in a Legend of Zelda game. The first time ever, after Zelda 1 and 2. And you guys want to know what game is all about the Master Sword besides this game? What other Zelda game is all about it? This game is about the creation of the Master Sword. That is a big deal. And it's also about the birth of Hyrule. The very end of it is Zelda and Link. Zelda's not a princess. Her father's not a king. They're just people who live in a land in the sky called Skyloft. Link is technically a knight, but he's like the very beginning of like a knight. Like the game begins with him getting his approval to be a knight in his training academy. So it's very well written, interesting stuff. Like they really thought about the birth of like everything of Ganondorf, of Zelda, of Hylia, the goddess, of why Zelda's such a big deal and how her connection to her and all that stuff. It's really good. It's really good stuff in my opinion. There's that, and of course I have the game, and oh, I have the official map. I thought this was just a printout. Look at this. Look at that. It's the official map. Look at that. I forgot I bought this. I bought this off eBay like last summer, I want to say. I don't even remember, but like, look at that. Oh, isn't that cool? Man, this game is neat. It really is. It really is. But I'll get around to it when I can. I promise. For you Link to the Past fans, I promise. I will get around to it when I can. I don't have anything against any Zelda game. I don't. I really don't. Except for maybe the friggin' CDI games, of course. But no, like I think Zelda's a great series. You know, honestly, I really, really, really do. You know, it's just that I have a big soft spot for Ocarina Time, obviously, just because of the magic behind this game. Skyward Sword, with its characters, it always gets a tear down my eye with Groose, Zelda, Link. You know, they're all just such great characters. Impa, you know, Kapoor, her father, Girahim, that jerk. You know, I do not like Girahim. I mean, Girahim's like, he's just such an a-hole. He really is in that game. Demise is pretty freaking awesome. He's only in the game for a short while, but it's like when a video game's like, oh, here's the final boss, there's no build-up. Demise sort of has a build-up because he is talked about throughout the game, so when you finally get to fight him, it's like, oh my god, he's really intimidating. It's like, holy crap. It is kind of like, oh, he's here now, but it's like, when he is though, it's like, oh, he's here. It's like a big deal when you get to the final boss in Skyward Sword. It really is. It really is. Even though if you don't know who he is until the very end, it's still a pretty big deal. It really, really, really is. So there's that. There we go. Good stuff. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't think I have much else to say. Again, if you start with like Link's Awakening or Minish Cap here, that's fine. That's fine too. Like, there's nothing wrong with starting with whichever Zelda game that you desire to. You'll probably be happy with whichever one it is. Which, oh yeah, a fun fact about this game. I think this game was released on my birthday, September 21st of 2019. I think it was, but I could be wrong about that. But be sure a birthday. I don't know though. I don't know. But I'll look that up, you know, in editing. I almost forgot about Twilight Princess here. Okay, so this is also a great start for Zelda. It really is. It has an awesome beginning with Link and the guy who trains him with like how to use a sword and with Midnight and everything, and the whole Twilight world and real world puzzle. I love the score of this game. I got decently far in the beginning of this game back then. I played this game on the GameCube like a few years ago before the Wii U version came out, and I got pretty far in it. I got up to at least Hyrule Town, which is not too far, I know, but I at least got a good sense of like what this game is like, and I really enjoyed it. You get to name your own horse in this game. It does a lot of really cool things. A lot of really cool things that I wish Zelda did. More Zelda games kind of did. It's darker for sure, and this is probably the definitive version of this game. The Wii U version is the definitive version of Zelda. Oh, I also have a map for, look at that, a fabric map, which I think this came with the Wii version, but I decided to put it in my Wii U version of the game. But yeah, this is the definitive version. I don't care what anybody out there says. Not the GameCube version, not the Wii version of Twilight Princess. No, this version right here, the Wii U version, is the definitive version of The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. And why is that? Because you get the best of both worlds. Except, you also kind of don't. What do I mean by that? Well, the Wii version for this game was flipped. It was mirrored from the GameCube version. The whole game was flipped over. Well, in this game, if you play it in hero mode or hard mode, I think the game is still flipped, but you don't get Wii remote and nunchuk controls, which I don't know why that was removed. It says here in the back you only get control support, which is not a bad thing because, you know, I personally prefer to play it that way for me. But for some people, so I keep stumbling over my own words, I'm sorry. For some people out there, it might be a real like deal breaker because they prefer the Wii version. And if you prefer the Wii version of Twilight Princess, that's totally okay. That's your version. That's fine. To you, that is the definitive version. I'm okay with that. No, nothing wrong with that. So that's okay. Just to me, I think this is the definitive version. It has the most content in it. It has the most like effort and love put into it. The graphics look so good in this game. Like on the Wii U, it just, yeah, I love this version. Like, what can I say? You know, I honestly do. So, okay, guys, that's kind of it for my Zelda episode. I'm not sure what else to add here. Just love Zelda, play Zelda, get into Zelda if you haven't yet. It's a great series. I know personally a YouTuber who really loves Zelda, because of Breath of the Wild, wants to check it out more. I don't know him personally, but I know he made a video about it, and that guy is the famous, hilarious, beloved Scott the Wise. Scott Wozniak, which I cannot say his last name, but I love him. He's hilarious. I love his stuff. I really do. But Scott, man, if you're watching this, then well, I'm hoping that you got some insight of where to go from Breath of the Wild. I say play Skyward Sword next, man. I think Skyward Sword is a great story. It's the beginning of the timeline and everything, and with it being re-released for Switch, I'm hoping that you enjoy it. Unless if he's already played more Zelda games, which was whatever. But yeah, guys, that's it. So if you haven't played Zelda before, I say really just play. For right now, just no, I'm joking. I'm joking. You can check out whichever Zelda game you personally want to, but I recommend Skyward Sword being your very first one. It'll probably be your favorite, whatever, if it is, because I can totally see that happening. You'll always have that nostalgia for this game. But there's a lot to love for Ocarina Time, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, and Majora's Mask, and you know, Skyward Sword. Okay, A Link to the Past, Majora's Mask. There's a lot to love with those games. Just because this may be your first Zelda game, it might not be your favorite, but it might be. It depends on how you are. It depends on how you feel about it. I recommend this when it comes out for the Switch. I'm sorry you have to pay $60 for this game. I really am. But if you have a Switch, pick it up. It's great stuff. Or if you have a powerhouse of a PC, I recommend playing this game on Dolphin if you can. Great stuff. Really, really is. So, okay guys, that's it. Thank you for watching my video. And I'll see you next time in my next video for The Legend of Zelda. For right now, make sure to go forward and live your life with some power, courage, and wisdom. I think I got that right. I don't know. Power, wisdom, courage, wisdom. I don't know. But see you guys next time. Bye-bye. At least it's on his left hand. I do know that. Well, for the most part it is. For Link. Oh yeah, that's right. Link's left-handed. Except for like a few games. Skyward Sword being one of them. He's actually right-handed in this game, which you can tell by the front cover. That's his right hand. That's his right hand holding the Master Sword. But for the most part, the guy is left-handed. So there's that. So see you guys next time. Peace out. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching.